Good morning, guys. I felt very, very formal. I'm not really the best at starting these videos. I usually start a video by saying so, then hope words follow. But if you look over this shoulder, my right shoulder, um, you got the sun breaking through the trees again, and just off to my left, the sun's lighting all that area up. Um, but we're sort of on top of a bank. Um, so the camera's sort of above it, so this is why this part of the woods hasn't caught much sun yet. And then behind is where I usually shoot my videos, just for the wind, but the wind isn't too bad today, and it's not really cold anymore. It's usually quite chilly on the hands, but we're getting towards mid-March now, so things are looking up. Cause I love the warm weather. Some people can't stand it. Some people can't stand being hot, but I absolutely can stand being too hot. I think, I have done one of those DNA tests to see where I am from originally, and I definitely have some more warmer climates in my ancestry. So this video is going to be about how I'm quitting coffee, and a lot of water is required. So straight off the bat, I'm going to just swig some water here, and you guys can wake up a little bit or go to sleep and just enjoy the sounds of nature. That's why we're out here. My slow paced videos. Just talking in and out of the birds. I've always promised that when you click on my videos, I'm not going to try and bombard you with too much information. You can just sit back and relax. But I would like to apologise for my last video. I'm not sure if I'm even going to upload it. If I have uploaded it, I apologise, but I wanted to talk about lost generations. That window on my back is quite cold. And how I felt like I was set up to fail by those around me. That's what that video was about, but because I've just quit caffeine, I couldn't really bring out a cohesive argument, and I'm still struggling a little bit today. So I thought the thing what I should actually do and could actually do is talk about coffee. I usually never really talk about things in the moment when they're happening to me. I always talk about it 3 months later. If I have uploaded the video, I may even upload it as this is the effects of. I think I was on my 3rd day without coffee. Now I'm on my 4th, and it's crazy. Like the side effects, the positive side effects, are insane. It's almost worrying because I just don't feel like myself anymore. But I'm getting better sleeps. I'm having complex dreams. I've had a few nightmares, but the dreams have been very lucid. I like lucid dreaming. Did I say my skin just feels better. I think the colouring in my face looks better. That also could be to do with drinking so much water at the moment. I'm so calm now as well. I've become so peaceful. If you watch my old videos back, I was really talking, really going for it. I hope to get some of that back because all my talking ability came out the power to just offload and just to talk. Without caffeine, I almost feel like I don't need to publicize this. I almost feel like I'm not in a rush to get to the woods anymore. I used to be in a rush to get to the woods to talk about things, to offload, hoping I would find some mercy out there. So I'm just going to take you through how I got hooked on caffeine, why I got hooked on caffeine, and the main, if you like, reason behind me getting hooked on coffee. The main reason was style. Everybody I admired, from musicians to filmmakers to public speakers to even grown ass people in my own life, they all drank black coffee, especially black coffee. I've always dressed quite simple. I like dressing quite simple. I guess my drip has always been just like a black t-shirt. My wardrobe is just full of black t-shirts. I've got a bit of denim on today. I usually just wear black trousers, black jeans. I have worn blue jeans in the past. I have tried some outlandish styles before, but I always land back on just simplicity. I just like the focus to be on me and not really so much what I'm wearing. Plus, I'm not really tapped into all the fashions, and all the people I admired also dressed with simplicity. So I just felt like that was my camp. So I thought as part of this black t-shirt, black coffee, dark thoughts, sort of club, I was also hanging around a lot of musicians and filmmakers, and they would wake up, sort of peel their face off the floor, and also drink a black coffee. And I thought I was kind of badass for drinking black coffee. Like, even if there was some days where I knew I wasn't functional or I was being manic, if an attractive girl is making you a black coffee in the morning, of course you're gonna take it. There's something about the way her feet would walk over to the kitchen, like her bare feet, and I would sort of be completely out of it, just on my back, and I'd have all the things I like, so the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, all that sort of stuff just in the back of my mind, just trying to wake me up. And then the girl would come back with a black coffee, and I would refuse it. I would say, "No, it's all right. I think I'm going to try and get some water in me, get some better liquids in me." But the girl would sort of sit on the edge of the bed with the black coffee, and it was the whole image drawn out for me. I just couldn't not have the black coffee. I felt like girls enjoyed making me black coffee. It sort of, in some sort of sense, made me feel sort of manly or adulty. So I'd get the coffee, and they seem to. I always enjoyed making my own coffee, but on the odd chance when a girl did make me a coffee, I just kind of felt badass. And I felt badass that I had to peel my face off the floor, put on my leather jacket, drink a coffee. The only way I could I was always running for buses, running to like Starbucks before it closed. Everybody I knew, from chefs to musicians, would always get me good coffee in. It was a talking topic. Who's got the best coffee? What coffee do you drink? If people have any gift ideas for Christmas, they're gonna get me some really good roasted coffee, or maybe I go coffee tasting. If I'm ever on a holiday, I would take if I'm on like a cruise ship, I'd take a coffee out onto deck and watch the sun come up. I just love that image of I'm just sat. So I've got my table, I've got a book, and I've got a black coffee, but it has to be black coffee because I despise tea drinkers, and it's gonna start a lot of a bit of war, the war between the tea and the coffee drinkers. And the reason why I despise the tea drinkers was jealousy, because the tea drinkers were functioning in society, and they were sort of very homely, and they sort of brought it down. I always pictured tea drinkers with candles and really just enjoying the ebbs and flows of life, where a coffee drinker I always picture as manic, and the only way I could focus was by having a coffee, but obviously that wasn't the truth. So I'd have a coffee and I'd do a million things, and all my high production came out of a coffee. Like, I've had employees, bosses, who have got me coffee just so I could pull a crazy shift off, because they knew if I had some coffee I could achieve anything. So, but which wasn't true. I could achieve that thing without coffee, but I got myself into the state. So my intake of coffee could be anywhere between 8 and 10 cups a day. This wasn't every day, by the way. This was maybe once a week. Once a week I'll have a day where I'll completely crash and I'll just drink coffee. Some of those cups would be espressos, which is still kind of stronger. And I would listen to music. I think I spoke about how coffee and music to me blended to create this like euphoria. Like when I woke up, had coffee, listened to the Stones, or was listening to the radio while driving and drinking a coffee, I just felt so good. And I would have coffees way into the night, 7 p.m. So I've never been diagnosed, but I probably do have a sleeping disorder. I'm a vampire, but I don't think coffee helps. I definitely have insomnia, so this is another one of the reasons why I wanted to quit. So, on coffee I never slept, and then I tried to counteract what was happening in the real world by having more coffee. So, up until about 16, I actually never drank coffee or any drinks. I drank energy drinks, like pineapple flavored Monster was my thing. I always used to bike to the shop and make sure they had that in, and that was my first I felt very adulty. If you remember the cans, almost some of the energy drink cans do look like beer cans. So all the other kids were like, "Oh, are you drinking beer?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's just energy drink." And then they were like, "Oh, how have you got that?" And so that was I guess the first. What am I trying to say? I guess it was the first sort of Breaking Bad moment in your life, getting an energy drink and feeling that caffeinated buzz. But up until then, I didn't really. So I'm already started getting the cramps and the spasms from the caffeine withdrawal. So far the withdrawal hasn't been too bad, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So I never really had any fizzy drinks or any carbonated drinks. I had lots of isotonic drinks, but I was very healthy, I'd say, and my sleep wasn't too bad. It was bad. My sleep's always been bad, but it wasn't too bad. Now my sleep doesn't make sense. I just sleep all over the place. Sometimes for 14 hours, sometimes for 4 hours. So when I was 16, I was really tired, and my friend suggested I should try a coffee. And I told the story in one of my last videos, and I'll just quickly tell it again. My parents once made me a coffee, and they told me they were only going to make me if I actually drink it and don't waste it. And I ended up not liking it. I took a few sips, it burnt my lip, I didn't like it. That sun's starting to make its way through the woods now. I really didn't like it, so I poured it in this plastic container under my bed, and I sort of reinvented penicillin. I've already done that joke in my last video, so that shows how much of a hack I am. I hope the sun's not too distracting. I always like to keep my videos as natural as I can, so we're not changing angles, or I'm not adjusting the brightness. Do that yourself, guys. Oh man, sometimes I still think I'm on coffee. But you see what I mean? The coffee created all this manic, I had so much aggression, so much anger. Now I feel I have clarity and calmness, even though I've only been off it 4 days. So I poured the coffee under my bed. It just built mold. When you're younger, you do these shameful things where you try and hide because you think your parents are just going to ruin your life if you don't obey them or don't listen to them. I remember in the kitchen, my mum made a coffee, and the smell was so good. She made it black, and I really liked the smell. It did something to my senses. It perked me up. So I'm now, where would I be? I don't think I've started college. Maybe a little bit before college. If I've already told this story and I said I was in college, I think I'll be embellishing that. Not that any of these details matter. So I asked for an espresso in a coffee house and in a cafe, and I was expecting a cup because my parents had an espresso machine at home and they always made cups of espresso. But I realised all they did was a shot of espresso and the rest was coffee. Sort of going a flat white sort of territory, but with no milk. So I was very shocked that I just wasted three quid, £3, €4, whatever it translates to in your country, on like that much of coffee, even less than that, just like a smudge. But I remember drinking the espresso shot, kind of annoyed. I just sort of took it. I thought it would be a bit embarrassing to just sit down with a tiny cup, so I just took it and walked down the high street. And I took that one thing, and that was it. My eyes blew out my head. I was just met with euphoria, and suddenly I could just focus. And then I just started drinking black coffee every single day, started requesting it, got my own espresso machine, got really lazy with it, just used to just throw grains in a cup and just throw water in, didn't try and brew anything. And then I found out all my heroes and people I look up to, the David Lynch of the world, have a cigarette and have black coffee, so that's how I started smoking and having black coffee. Yeah, I was just caught in that world of just, the only way I can now function is by waking the F up, pouring myself a coffee, brewing myself a coffee. I loved the whole process of it. It was like a romantic process. Or going to a cafe and meet my friend. I just loved being tired. I felt bad for my friends. I always, all the people I admired never had it together. And I also looked up to that. I thought, my friends were functioning fine in society without, they had their own caffeine problems. Like, they drank a lot of soda or whatever. They replaced the coffee with something else. But, I would look up and I would admire these people who didn't have it together, and I would meet my friends, have a coffee, and I felt cool that I was a mess. Like, when I was at college, it seemed to be trendy to be a wreck. I was a wreck, so I wasn't exactly faking it either. I just wasn't functioning. So, I've been on coffee now for nearly 10 years, and last year was my lowest year ever. It forced me to, it was such a terrible year, it forced me to reevaluate my whole life, everything I'm doing, and almost start again. It got to November last year, I was so distraught and destroyed by the world. Something that I take, my own responsibilities onto that as well. I was so done. I was finding so much stuff out about my life, and I was living through so much trauma. My girlfriend basically said to me, "You're done. Take a month off." And luckily, I finished all my work. I'm self-employed, so I finished most of my work, so I could do that. And I was able to sort of rehab myself. I just sort of sat around just enjoying TV and just really bringing it down. And then going to the new year, I noticed I was just drinking 1 cup of coffee a day. I used to drink 5 cups. Or maybe some green tea or whatever. So I noticed that through my own rehab, my I was feeling so much better, and things have changed. I started eating better, sleeping a little bit better. And the biggest one was coffee. And then I just thought, I'm going to kill it completely. No more. I'll just take a swig and we'll wrap this up. So I want to talk about what I've found out about quitting coffee. So the hardest thing is, I'm a little bit all over the place. I was all over the place with coffee, but the effects of not having coffee, I'm a little bit scatterbrained, and I can't really. Sometimes I'll be talking mid-sentence with somebody, and I'm just used to my brain kicking in and reaching the conclusion for me. But I'm having to really reach down to try and find something to say in a conversation now, which is really interesting. If you saw me in real life in public, I'm not really much of a talker, but one-on-one with people I feel comfortable with, I'll talk for hours. We sort of mixed into the problem because I would go to cafes just to talk about politics, to talk about current affairs, just anything with just life or girls or whatever, and we would just drink coffee and just, you know, talk and talk and talk. It was part of the culture I was living in. I was still part of that culture. So one of the hardest things I'm actually facing is like, first the shock of, oh my god, Aaron's actually quitting coffee. Second of people like, well, this is the thing, and you realise like the effect of this drug has on you. This emotional state where I start thinking, oh, how am I going to travel now without having a coffee? How? Yeah, I'm literally everywhere I go, I'd make sure there was like a place where I could get a coffee. Now I'm thinking how to like when I wake up in the morning now, I'm like, what do? I just have to come round on my own terms with no caffeine. But I've also noticed, I'm sorry I've just jumped from my other point. I'm just trying to get this across. I'm kind of excited by this. I've also noticed that my appetite's back because coffee was destroying my appetite. I'm sorry, it's really backlit now. So I'm eating good. I'm eating vegetables. I'm eating good meat. I'm drinking plenty of water. I just feel good, and I think because I'm eating so healthy, like I don't have any. I have had caffeine withdrawal symptoms in the past, so I've had awful headaches. I haven't had that yet. It might come. I'm expecting it to come. I definitely feel a bit dizzy and a bit nauseous. And I'm just sleeping. I slept for 14 hours. When I quit the day I quit caffeine, I slept for 14 hours. So yeah, I'm just sleeping all over the place now. See if I can avoid the light streak. I fall asleep so easy. I feel at peace when I fall asleep. Usually I'm jittery, or I'm having to check my phone, or I just don't, I just never want to sleep. But now I'm literally putting my head on a pillow and I'm feeling sleepy. That's good, because it means I can work hard in the day and then I can sleep like a regular adult, like I'm functioning. Which is why I wanted to quit, because I'm getting too old now. I'm getting on. I'm 25 now. I can't do that thing where I wake up and have 10 coffees and go out into the world. It's not working. I'm starting to notice there's this cycle in this world. There's so much stuff, but we're just like, no, I put so much emphasis on stuff then, where we're just trapped in this loop of have coffee, go to work stimulated, feel like we're achieving, then come back, crash hard, get more coffee. We're just all trapped in this loop. And it's just so obvious. Just not having coffee. It's just so obvious. My gums feel better, my teeth feel better. I feel calmer. The anxiety's going. I do feel a little depressed, but I am putting that down to part of the symptoms. So yeah, I've gone full cold turkey. I've just ripped the band-aid off because, well, I have always been like that. I did wind myself down, like I said, from last year. I had a cup a day, but I just decided if I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna do it now. So if there's any people what this story or this, what I'm talking about sort of applies to you, just quit for 4 or 5 days, and just see the positive effects. And if you want more, if you want to try and get something back, if you've got like a personality disorder, or ADHD or a learning disorder, anything like that, get rid of caffeine straight away. And I think it will hurt your quality of life up. And my brain's already stopped worrying about so much as well. I would lay awake at night just ruminating thoughts. It's not going to solve all your problems. I think that's what people think. Like, I saw it as like the plug in the bathtub, and I pulled it, and I see a lot of my problems going down that drain. But you're still going to have to eat healthier and work out and work hard. And it's going to be hard going to society. I mean, I'm self-employed, so I don't really spend as much time as I did in society. But I am worried that when I do go back on business meetings and stuff, how I mean, what do you do? What do you even order at a cafe now? Just a water. But people look at you so weird. And that's how I sort of got into coffee, because I wanted to feel like an adult. That's how I stayed in coffee, because I felt cool. All right, so let me know, like, because this is something that's really close to me. I've always felt coffee's my identity. I've written coffee's my identity. I made a short film about coffee being the greatest thing ever. And this is the thing. I just want to say this. I think coffee is still the greatest thing ever. I love coffee. Sadly, like most things, it's just not good for me. And I am talking about myself individually now. I don't think if you still have coffee, that's fine. But I'm just saying, cut back on it and see the positive effects, and maybe cut back on it completely for 4 or 5 days and just see what you like of coffee. It's almost like an experiment. And if you like it, I would say go for it. Because I'm getting pretty addicted to water now. Water's pretty good. Alright. As always, I've took a lot of your time up. Go watch some other videos on YouTube. I usually watch one serious video and then I watch something really dorky. Alright. Take care, guys. And I guess this is for me, goodbye to coffee. Which I feel kind of rudderless, because up until now, coffee was my everything. It was the thing I woke up for. So, but I made a self-destructive move. It's gone now. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. All right. Cheers.